Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on April 6, 2016, 11:29 p.m. Birmingham. Topic: the refugee problem in Europe. I've got a lot of statistics I want to give you here, and it's a big problem. But let's start with some of the headlines. In France, truckers ran through a refugee blockade. They're trying to block the interstates, the highways, and steer their way if it means taking a car or bus or truck. In France, angry farmer gets ticked off and plows his land where refugees have homesteaded, and I'm sure you've seen that one. Greece, refugees looting cars. Now, it's a kind of funny, but it's not, that one person, and there's a lot there happened, don't get me wrong, one person who is there to assist and to help the refugees, her car was looted. So now she is a victim. So I wonder what she has to say about that. German media can no longer hide the truth about what's going on in Germany. There's one night, the attitude of the country changed toward the refugees. And I'm going to give you that one at the end. German border with Poland. Small towns, please clash with refugees. Who's mixed in with the Syrian refugees? African refugees. Look, the refugees has swelled from a small number to a giant number. If it were just the Syrians, they would have already been settled. Britain, no more refugees. Britain, railroad tracks had to be dug up to stop the train loads of refugees from coming in. In Greece, farmers, they were too late. They didn't plow their land under. And now the refugees have taken over land, lots of land. And I'm going to tell you how much land is available too, by the way, in a minute. Europe's refugee problem took to the seas. Since the highways are closed, the train tracks are closed, and the fields are being plowed, well, guess what? When they do that, now they're all washed up ashore in Greece. Canada finally jumped up. They already said it 2 or 3 times, but they're saying it again. We'll take 10,000, but no more. It's kind of funny that they can't count. It's not Canada, the refugees. I had a full statistic, land mass wise, and population, but I'm not going to give it because I don't know how accurate it is. And to me, it sounds reasonable. So I'm going to go with a reasonable portion without giving you a landmass size. Russia, they have the most vacant, unused land. It easily could accept all the refugees. South America, the same. There's more vacant land, but you got to keep in mind, this is major rainforest in South America, but it's still land. Canada, vacant land, is cold, but it's vacant, a lot of it. China, flat. There's really no room to take in refugees. America, United States, flat. We already pushed our limits. Now, when I'm saying vacant land, I'm including the ability to support, okay? And Europe, extremely, very overcrowded, including the border countries to Russia, the Russian bloc countries. Those countries are taxed and they're filled to the brim. Some are okay, like the Ukraine. You know, there's several countries, Armenia, there's several countries got a lot of land, but there's no way to take care of them. And again, there's a problem. All refugees. Oh yeah, by the way, got three more here. The Middle East. Why had anybody thought about the Middle East? And you got Saudi Arabia right there that can house most of them and not even know they're there. But Saudi Arabia don't want them. Hey, look, they're kinfolk, Saudi Arabia. Don't want them. They even have tent cities in Saudi Arabia that are empty. If you want to talk about cities that are empty, look in Russia. Look at the cities that are empty. I mean empty. Look at China. The cities that are completely empty. What are these cities for? There are cities around this continent that hold million plus that are empty. Look up ghost cities and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, all refugees can fit into one area. All refugees in a space of 10,000 square miles with ease, relative ease. And this is, room to spare. 10,000 square miles, all they need. And again, the Middle East, they have 100 times that, but they don't want them. And so Saudi Arabia, to the east of Saudi Arabia, and this includes parts of Libya, outer edges of Egypt, you can't go there because Egypt's not going to be there for very long. They're like the Bible said, they're going to be flooded and be laid waste for 40 years. So the perimeters of Egypt will be available. And then south, all the way through Africa, they can be absorbed and never be seen. And again, the Saudis, no, we don't want them. Keep them the hell away from us. And last, where the refugees came, and this is an old count, the updated count, they haven't given the number because they're afraid to. But the count that they know of, there are 8,000 terrorists that mixed in with the refugees. Where are these terrorists trying to go? They want to scatter them just like they did in Germany and in France and so forth, and it started blowing up. This is their goal. They are so full of friggin' hate. They don't like anybody, not even themselves, not even their own kin. Okay, the reason Germany finally threw their hands up, said, hell no, this is it, no more. When they raped an elderly woman, groped and raped, and I'm not talking about a couple, I'm talking about a bunch. And she was a 80-something-year-old grandmother, and she was raped. So what are they after? The refugees, the terrorists. The reason they're blending in as much as they can and trying to shove as many as they can through this grid, through this crowd, through this. If enough come at one time, you're going to miss a lot of them. And this is what they're doing now. They're just, instead of walking up one at a time, they burst through the barricades. So this is why so many clash with the police and the truckers and the farmers and the citizens are taking place today, is because the refugee problem has turned to a huge crime wave. The number of the women that's been raped on a daily basis, they're not telling you. And the last two blogs I did were about the sons of Odin. I don't know who Odin is, but he's got my vote. And they're unarmed vigilante group, but they got the right idea, and they're doing a good job at it, and I support them. And the main goal for the refugees, the terrorist portion of them, kill the Christians and Jews, as many as they can. Jody Wolf Expoz.